From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And, man, it is Tuesday, September the 13th. So, man, I know it's somebody's birthday out there, so happy birthday to you. And you guys already know what it is. This is kind of a sad day and everything. They're not going to mention it because we did have a little bit of an issue yesterday, but RIP to PNB Rock as well, too. But this was the day that Tupac passed away as well too, back in 1996. So I know I haven't seen anything out there yet, but happy birthdays and RIPs and all that good stuff. But hey, we're here for sports. That's what we're here for. So let's go ahead and jump into what happened last night. And Russell Wilson and the crew wound up losing everybody money last night. Seahawks beat the Broncos 17-16 on Monday Night Football to spoil the former starter Russ Wilson's debut as Denver's quarterback. So what happened here was that Denver could have easily won this game, but they had two fumbles at the 1 yard line that were clear fumbles. It was no, okay, he fumbled after he was down. No, these guys literally were dropping the ball as they were falling to the ground. So that wasn't a good sign for a win. But when you look at all the numbers, there's a lot of criticism going around. We all know that because a lot of people just felt that coach was doing a bit too much the other night. You know what I mean? Last night. Now, you look at the numbers. Russell 340, a touchdown, was sacked twice. Melvin Gordon was actually the guy picking up the load and was pretty good last night. 58 yards on the ground on 12 attempts, but they only ran 20 times last night. I'm kind of surprised with that number as well, too. I thought that they were going to run a little bit more. Now, he did have a good night with Jerry Jeudy, so we can see that's a good target for him. Cortland Sutton will be a good target for him as well, too. But he had a lot of quick dumps off to Javon Williams as well, too. So you can kind of start telling that they weren't giving Russ the deep ball last night, but all in all, you look at Denver's numbers, it wasn't that bad. 433 total yards, 330 on the after being sacked twice. So you got to count in 330, but he did throw for 340. And then the rush yards, they had 103. So they ran 64 plays to 49. And it's just like, this is where they lost the game at. They couldn't get anything done on the fourth down. Now, they were better on third down. When you look at the stats, they were literally better at everything. But those two turnovers were very crucial to the outcome of this game as well, too. So all in all, when you look at it, you look at Denver and you automatically say overrated, okay? And I think that week one, everybody has to understand it's week one. We're going to go through the motions. There's going to be teams that are going to be up in here looking like world beaters week one. Then week two, they come back around and get blown out by 40. So you guys have to understand that the NFL is a crazy place. And I think that all in all, when it comes down to it, that the Broncos are not in bad shape. It's too early to say that in this situation, but I think that you do need to I think the coach does need to trust the quarterback a bit more. Now, we all know why he went for it, because he felt like that was the best situation for them. But honestly, you never go for it in that situation like that. I feel like if you have more timeouts, you had 3 timeouts, they could have ran a play. Now, if they don't get that play off, I think they could have had enough time to get some stops, things of that nature. But I know what the coach was thinking, and when you look at the clock, a lot of people are talking at the house, but they don't understand that at the end of the day, that a play has to be called, and he felt like a 64-yarder was very doable for a kicker that had never made a 64-yarder. So they looked at the numbers. They said the numbers backed it up. but I still don't know anybody that does that with that much time on the clock. But I do understand you only had, it was 4th and 5. You know what I mean? You missed the kick. If it's an incomplete, game over. If you missed the kick, game over. So all in all, wasn't really a bad choice because all in all, they still lost. And all in all, they know that the game should have never came down to a final possession. So at the end of the day, congratulations to Seattle, and the Broncos missed a golden opportunity to win a football game. It's that simple. We move on. Week 1 is history. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our next topic at hand. And this is going to be our first look at the Thursday night football game. Now, in the Thursday night football game, you got the Chargers pulling up to the Chiefs over at the Jihad Stadium at Arrowhead, Jihad Field at Arrowhead Stadium. And when I look at this matchup, this is going to be everybody's exciting matchup. You have a spread that's already out at +4. It's jumped to +4. You have the Chargers at +165. You have the Chiefs at -200, and then you have the -4 as well, to the Chiefs. You have an over/under 54, and from what you're already seeing is 54% of the actions already going towards the Chiefs. That number will rise as well too. But when you look at the numbers, you have Mahomes throw for 360 last game with 5 touchdowns. Herbert threw for 279, 3 touchdowns. Both things that they have in common, no picks. Both threw for over 75% and completed 75% of their passes. Now, when you look at the running game, they got a new name and a new face here with the Chiefs and Isaac Pacheco. Pacheco ran for 62 yards, scored a touchdown. Travis Kelce was still up to his old ways as well, too, 121 yards. Now, the biggest question is, will Keenan Allen be available this week? That's the biggest question of them all. Now, they'll have to see, but when you look at the numbers, they're matching up very well here. And when you look at the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers are doing something that they literally signed up for. Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa probably present one of the most dangerous edge rushers we've seen on the same team in a very long time. Even though a lot of people wrote Khalil Mack off, you can put more on the Bears' effort as a team more than on him as a player, because you know when Khalil Mack is healthy, motivated, he's going to show up and he's going to play big. And I've never felt like he was an overpaid player. I've always felt like if he's not 100% and he's still going, you got to give him love for that. But at the same time, though, that was what's hindering him right now. But he's gotten to the Chargers. They have a winning mentality in LA right now. And so it's an easy sell for him. You got Derwin James as the leader of the defense. So him and Bosa, all they got to do is pin their ears back and rush the quarterback. That's it. And that's dangerous for Mahomes coming up this week. And as you guys know, the last few times we've been to Kansas City in LA, LA hasn't done well against the Chiefs in LA, but they've done well against them in Kansas City. And it seems like they always can get their number there. Let's go. I'm just thinking that to myself that this game is going to wind up being much, much, much better than most expected to be. But I still feel like this is kind of a quick turnaround for a Chargers team that really put a lot out there against the Raiders. So, I think that you got to kind of take your time with this one. That's what I'm doing right here. I have a choice for you guys Thursday when we do NFL bet exchange. But all in all, I'm looking at the Chargers and the Chiefs, and it's always fun with these two teams when they meet up. Especially, I always feel like they're big time rivals that really, really don't want to acknowledge that they're big time rivals. But I'm looking at the numbers right now, and the Chargers have actually won the last 2 in a row in Kansas City. So that's something to note. And they've actually won the last 3 out of 4 to just go ahead and just give you the wisdom on that one as well, too. The last 3 out of 4. So all in all, these two in their last 7, well, actually in their last 8 matchups is 3. They're 3. The Chiefs do hold a 5-3 lead, but and those 5 matchups you have the 2 of those wins on a row for the Chargers. So that's a good look for people that are very interested in the Chargers this week. So there it is. There it is. That's going to be my first look at the Thursday night football game. Now, let's go ahead and jump into our next topic at hand, and it's going to be our primetime NFL player of the week. And our primetime NFL player of the week is going to be, this week it's going to be Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley had himself a game on Sunday. He probably had one of those games that will forever live in New York history, in New York Giants history, to be honest. He went ahead and just absolutely went off. He gained 164 yards, was averaging 9.1 a carry the other night as well, too. And he was able to score the go-ahead touchdown to get his team the victory in a very tough spot. That was probably one of what people felt was a lock, because the Giants haven't won on opening day on the road in 20 years. So they scored all their points in the second half. The Giants were absolutely shut out in the first half. They had the blues given to them by their coach. Then they wind up in the second half having a whole different half. They ran for 238. They had 238 rushing yards. That's number one in the NFL right now. Saquon supplied 164 of those, so he was the catalyst to the victory. He only had to do this on 18 attempts as well, too. And then he was a danger in the passing game as well, too, with 6 receptions for 30 yards. So he got himself 194 yards on his own of the Giants, and that literally was about 50 to 60% of the Giants offense for the entire game. That's absolutely incredible. That's Jim Brown stuff. So, this is almost like, wow. When you look at it, they went for 394 yards and he got 200 of them. So it's like, whoa. You know what I mean? This is something this is what people have been talking about when it comes to Saquon. So, quarterback got sacked 5 times. Lions going to have to shore that up. They had 2 turnovers, but they took advantage of a Tennessee team that likes to go to sleep at the wheel, in my opinion. So there it is. That's our primetime NFL player of the week, and it's going to be Saquon Barkley. All right. Next week, we'll go ahead and we'll see who gets it. And I'll even go ahead and put up a poll next Monday as well, too, to go ahead and get the people's opinion on who they feel the player of the week is. But this week, I'm choosing the player of the week, and it's going to be Mr. Saquon Barkley. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and I'll be right back. And when I do get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into some baseball. So you guys stay right where you at, and I'll be right back to you. This is your boy, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live, and I'll be right back.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. So it is what it is. What's going on, family? How you doing? How's everything? Y'all, shout out to the nephew, Mr. Osman Kareem. But always one of my biggest supporters, but he's always somebody I love to talk to the game about as well, too. So shout out to him. Thank you for letting me know that you're in here watching the show, brother. Make sure that you share it on your YouTube. Make sure you share it on your pages and everything like that, so we can start getting these views up and all that good stuff. So let's jump into a baseball. And in baseball, we got ourselves some pretty good looking. We got some pretty good looking things going on here in baseball. The Dodgers. That's what I'm going to start off with. The Dodgers, absolutely incredible. They are ready to go ahead and make that move and win their 9th division title in the last 10 years. It could have been 10 in a row if they didn't slip up at the end of the year versus the Giants, who had a season that nobody saw coming. So now the Dodgers find themselves in position to go ahead and do what they've been doing the last 10 years, win the division. And the Dodgers, probably the most consistent, probably the most, fun team to watch in the MLB over that stretch as well, too. They've done a lot of winning. For a team that has one World Series, they did a lot of winning. So pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. And, I had to get you, man. He said, calling out his whole name. I said, man, I had to get you. You always got you got my whole name all the time with Get for 3. So, hey, it's all good. They just don't post your location. All right. So pretty much the thing is, and I'm not trying to be funny about that either, but, us regular people though, come on, we can't keep, we can't be over here acting like we the celebrity too. You know what I mean? Just make sure you keep your head on the swivel. That's what the hell you do. All right, so Dodgers, they can go ahead and clinch tonight either with a win or a Padres loss tonight. So the Dodgers are ready to celebrate, but they said they ain't really worried about celebrating. They already got the playoffs the other day. They just trying to go ahead and get themselves a win. Clayton Kershaw is back off the IR as well, too. So that should be good. Clayton Kershaw, 7-10 on the year, 102 strikeouts, over 18 walks. This is like Cy Young stuff, but he hasn't played enough to warrant a Cy Young situation. But when you look at the Dodgers numbers, they are in the top 5 in pretty much every category that matters. This team is incredible, and they are first place in literally all the stats that just means something. Batting average, on-base percentage, runs this season, 4th in home runs, slugging percentage, number 1. Earned run average, 2.86, and it actually went up a few notches as well, too. Batting average against, number 1. And then their whip, number 1 as well, too. So it's just the Dodgers are just waiting to get to the playoffs. They're going to get a whole week off at the end of the month. So everything should be good. And it should go their way. It doesn't really matter about how many wins they get, because the Dodgers are going to get 100 wins at the end of the day. So, you got that working out for you. And I just think that they're on a mission this year. This isn't about winning a division. This isn't about winning a pennant. This is about going straight to the World Series and winning it in fine fashion as well, too. And when you look at the MLB, who is better than the Dodgers right now when you say pitching and hitting? Seriously, and I'm not saying this because I'm from LA. I'm just saying this because I know how sports work, and the Dodgers are just really on a whole nother plateau. But that means absolutely nothing when we get into October. So looking at the Dodgers record now, 3 games away from 100 wins, 97-43 on the season. They've won their last 7 out of 10 games as well. On the mound tonight, we do have Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks. And as I said before, Kershaw on the mound, returning from the IR for the Dodgers. So this should be a good one. We'll see how it goes. The magic number is 1, and we move from there. The over could be a play as well, too, there, but I think that you're onto something there, Mr. Kareem. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about the next topic that I have, and that's going to be the race for the final playoff spot between the Padres and the Brewers. When you look at the numbers, everything kind of favors the Padres, but when you look at the mentality, I would trust the Brewers a little bit more, because the Brewers have been in the playoffs the last few years. The Brewers actually have the better pitching staff as well, too, but the problem with the Brewers is they can't score any runs. So I think that they know what time it is. They're literally out of the race to win the Central. 2 weeks ago, they were right there in the thick of things. 3 weeks ago, they actually were leading the division. Now they're 8 games back. They did kind of run into a slide. And then when they did have the straight up series with St. Louis, things didn't go that well. So their idea now is just to make the playoffs. Now, the Padres were working themselves into a comfortable position. At one point, they were the number 4 seed in the NL. Now they're number 6 on the outside looking in. Luckily enough, the Giants have been eliminated from playoff contention, so it doesn't matter what the Giants do. But San Diego is really holding on to this lead narrowly, and they got a 2-game lead, but they're only half a game behind Philadelphia. So we have ourselves what I like to call a little bit of a triangle here. So pretty much it really comes down to San Diego and Milwaukee in this spot, but I still think that at the end of the day that this will be the winner. The winner will be the team in the final spot. It's that simple. You know what I mean? So I think that all in all, what we can do as a unit, as a group, we can go ahead and say to ourselves that we got ourselves a real race here, because when you look at the AL, you do have a race going there with the White Sox and the Indians. Pretty much Minnesota has really bowed all the way out. They're still 5 games back, but they have a losing record now. So it's been rough on the Twins, who've lost their last 8 out of 10. So they have they hit their best spot, and really I think that they're not going to recover because Buxton got hurt here late in the year. But the White Sox are right there, and it's unbelievable that the White Sox are right there, because I would say this: the White Sox have been one of the more inconsistent teams in baseball, but still have a winning record at the end of the day. So pretty much it comes down to that group as well, too. The White Sox are really, their only option is to win the Central to get in here. So it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And I do feel like we are going to be in a good spot with everything that's going on. But the Twins are in some trouble. It's kind of tough, because when you're fading like they're fading, it really doesn't matter who they're playing. But they are in a spot where they should be able to get themselves a nice little win. But I'm not saying I don't like them tonight. I'm just saying that it's a tough go. They're trying to get to the playoff. Their main objective is playoff, and they're not going to get there, because 69-70 on the 13th of September isn't it? And you're 5 games behind the leader. It isn't a good look unless you're going to go on a real tear. But you do line it up with both of these teams, so there is a chance. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. So there it is. There it is. All right, so let's go ahead and pay some homage real quick, because this man has been incredible for his whole career, and that's Mr. Albert Pujols. Will Pujols hit number 700? Of course he'll hit number 700, because that's how the game works, okay? They wasn't going to let A-Rod get to 700, because A-Rod was such a black eye on baseball. They don't want to say, they don't never really want to admit it, because he's such a class act and such a good guy. And so, hey, I'm A-Rod, and blah, 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 blah. So pretty much they eat that phony stuff up. So pretty much A-Rod, one of the most shameful players of all time, should never, ever, him getting to 700, it wouldn't matter. Nobody would have cared, I think. You know what I mean? Because nobody really even acknowledges the 696 that much. It's just, A-Rod, we knew you were really talented, but you're a cheater. At the end of the day, you're a cheater, and you were a blatant cheater. So, but it's cool though. But you can't get those God-given skills though without a little bit of work. But when you do all the things, when you break all the rules of the G code, I can't deal with you. But this man right here literally was a guy they found at a community college that was like he's the Dominican version of the Natural. Okay. When Albert Pujols got to the MLB, he played every single position on the field except for pitcher, okay, and catcher, all right? This guy was absolutely incredible when I first saw Albert Pujols, and it was just silly because he was coming in at the same time Mark McGwire was leaving St. Louis, and they didn't know what St. Louis was going to be after Mark McGwire. Mark McGwire could never get that team anywhere near a World Series. Albert Pujols, how many you go to? 4 or 5 in his time in St. Louis, and they were an absolute machine in the National League as well too, for a very long stretch of time. It was him and the Flying Molina, the baby brother, and all those great pitching staffs that they had as well too. Adam Wainwright, who's still there now. So pretty much, you got Albert Pujols, world champion, world-class citizen, great guy, and he is the epitome of the baseball life as well. He is a great story for years on years to be told about baseball. And Albert Pujols, to me, is the reason why Dominican baseball is such a force today in the world of baseball. So, Albert Pujols is a larger than life guy. And I think him getting to 700 is going to be great because it might be the most humble 700 we'll ever see. And I don't think we'll see anybody hit the ball as well as Albert. Well, at least for the rest of the time I'm here. But I don't think we'll see another guy like Albert Pujols be able to be so good from day one and still be so good at the end of days. So there it is. There it is. Shout out to Fat Albert. Number 700 is on the way. We're at 697. So hopefully he'll get it at home in St. Louis so the crowd can go really crazy. So with that, I'll be right back. And we'll be getting into everybody's favorite topic. I know it's your favorite topic too, family. So we will have Talkin Tickets coming up next. So you guys just sit tight, and the bets are on the way. This is your boy, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, and this is the PrimeTime Angles Live.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back with the NFL Bet Exchange with your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. So let's go ahead and jump into our best bets of today. And up first, we got the MLB PrimeTime PK6, 55-1. I'm taking the Angels with the plus 115 today to get an upset in Cleveland against the Guardians. Yeah, I like the way that they're looking. They got a quiet pitcher on the mound, but he's a decent pitcher. So I think that we might shock the system a little bit and get ourselves a good win here. So the Angels money line plus 115, love it. Then we have the Tigers plus 1.5. Tigers are a big dog today against the Astros. I always like a big dog against the Astros. So I didn't take the Tigers to win, but I did take the Tigers to cover the game. So that means we got to lose by 1 run for us to get the money. But the plus 1.5 to the Tigers is a plus 125 as well, too. Then you have the Orioles on the road. They got their best pitcher on the mound in Creamer. So I'm going to go ahead and take them with the minus 155. And that should work out pretty good for us. I think that we're in a very, very good spot because they're going against the Nationals. The Nationals literally gave up on the season like 2 months ago. And then we have the over 8.5 with the Royals and the Twins. We got Jeff Ryan on the mound going against Bubik. I think that this one, after watching Ryan pitch in Los Angeles, the guy gets hit pretty hard. So I just like the over a lot here. So I'm taking the over 8.5. Then you got the Rockies and the Rangers. Sorry about that. It's the Rockies and the Rangers, not the Rockies and the Rockies. Rockies, not the Rockies A versus the Rockies B. It's the Rockies and the Rangers. Okay. So this one right here, I love the pitching matchup here. I think the pitching matchup calls for this game to go well under. So I like the under 8.5 here. So we're taking the Rockies and the Rangers today. Remember, Rockies and Rangers, all right? Because it looks like it's an over game, but it's going to wind up going under. I think that we're going to get some pitching here today. And then we end the night with the Braves in the Bay going against the Giants. Hopefully they can bounce back a little bit because they're running into a little bit of issues. They've been losing games that they were supposed to win. They are in position to be in the playoffs, but they're trying to get that division as well too. But they are now a game and a half back of the Mets, and their series, when is that coming up? The Mets and the Braves meet at the end of this month. And going into October, their series will run from the 30th to the 2nd. So pretty much that's a 3-game series, which will probably settle the East. So there it is, 55-1 MLB PrimeTime PK6. Let's go ahead and see our next ticket, and that's going to be a prop bets ticket. We have yes to score first inning, Cubs, Mets, and then we have the Dodgers with the 2.5 at plus 125, and then we have the Dodgers over 5 runs with the plus 110. Also, Padres over 24.5 with the hits, run, and error. So you have to total that up. So it has to go over that total right there. So we need a lot of hits and a lot of runs, and then everything equals out. And there it is. And then we have Julio Rodriguez, who needs 2+ hits tonight in that game. The Mariners are playing against in that game that they're playing against the. Who are they? The Padres. So there it is. That's our prop bets for tonight. And pretty much that's going to be our show for today as well, too. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. I'm telling you now, we got ourselves a very, very good slate of baseball games today. I hope that you guys are able to jump in them. Now, you guys be on the lookout for my Bet Us primetime play of the day as well, too. And I'll go ahead and I'll tweet that out to you guys just in a moment once I get everything situated and everything like that. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. And this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. I'll be back to you tomorrow at noon. We'll be breaking down some NCAA games and talking about some conference games that are going on this weekend as well, too, and get into a little bit of that top 25 as well. So make sure that you tune in. And then I got some more baseball to talk about as well, too, because baseball is the agenda right now. And if we got some NFL news worth talking about, that'll be thrown in as well, too. But all in all, you guys are the absolute best, and I look forward to getting back to you tomorrow. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. As I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.